SNK has created some of the coolest characters in fighting game history, but also some of the most bizarre, from grotesque monsters to completely unhinged wildcards. This list dives into the strangest fighters ever to grace SNK's roster. And just so we're clear, this list is exclusive to characters featured in fighting games, even if they originally come from somewhere else. So buckle up, things are about to get really weird. Without further ado, here are the top 10 most bizarre characters in SNK fighting games. Here's a character that feels like he stumbled out of a Mortal Kombat nightmare and landed in a Samurai Shodown game. Kusare Ghetto, or Gedo for short, is a towering yokai, a type of demon from Japanese folklore, who made his first appearance in Samurai Shodown 5. While he can't technically talk, he is barely sentient and is driven almost entirely by one thing: his insatiable hunger for human flesh. His fighting style revolves around pure body horror. We're talking about attacks like extending the bones from his body to form jagged weapons, or even lobbing his own decaying head as a projectile. It's so grotesque that some of his moves were censored in international versions of the game. But as horrifying as his attacks are, the most disturbing thing about Kusare Ghetto isn't what he does to others, it's what he did to his own family. This lovely pile of rot used to have a daughter, whom he eventually ate, and now he barely remembers she even existed. Father of the Year material right there. Yes, I know, including Choi on this list might come as a surprise, but that's mostly because, as KOF fans, we've grown so used to him that we sometimes forget just how objectively bizarre he really is. Take a step back and analyze him for a second. He's a middle-aged, child-sized man who behaves like a hyperactive kid, which creates this unsettling contrast between his appearance and his actions. Oh, and let's not forget, he is a literal serial killer with zero remorse, gleefully slashing his opponents with his iconic claw gloves. His tiny size and erratic movement make him infuriating to fight against, especially with that ridiculously small hitbox and unpredictable air mobility. Visually and conceptually, Choi is like the mini-me version of Freddy Krueger. He has the power to haunt your dream, or at the very least, your ranked matches. And now let's venture into the ever-beloved realm of SNK bosses, a territory known for unfairness, pain and trauma. Our first entry here is a name that might trigger flashbacks in anyone who had the misfortune of facing this avatar of pure brokenness, Naodio. While he's appeared in several SNK games, his origins lie in the World Heroes series, where he serves as the true final boss. Created in a lab as the so-called ultimate being, Naodio seeks nothing but chaos and destruction, and trust me, is very efficient at both. Much like Kusare Ghetto, his fighting style leans into unconventional anatomy, with morphing limbs, energy drills, and strange alien attacks. But what he lacks in body horror, he more than makes up for in pure unfair gameplay. This guy isn't just tough, he's the kind of boss that makes you question your life choices. I mean, he straight up obliterates Zeus, who you thought was the final boss, only to replace him as the real last challenge. Here's a character whose bizarre nature comes not from how he looks or fights, but from the fact that we practically know nothing about him. Meet Jazu, the true final boss of Kizuna Encounter, and later a mid-boss in KOF 11. Beneath his golden raven mask, no one knows what he actually looks like. His age, his face, even his origins are completely mystery. What little we know is that he's a high-ranking member of the secretive organization Jaguar, and that he personally crafted his mask to resemble a demonic crow, a twisted tribute to the many victims he's slain. Jazu is the embodiment of an enigma. His motives are unclear, his history is non-existent, and his blend of ninjutsu and sorcery only deepens the mystery. Is he a man? A spirit? Something else entirely? The only thing we're sure of is that fighting him leaves more questions than answers, and that's what makes him so unnerving. Love her or hate her, one thing for sure, Automaraga is one of the strangest and most mysterious entities ever introduced in the King of Fighters series. Debuting in the latest installment, we know shockingly little about her, only that she hails from a completely different dimension and is worshipped in some cultures as the goddess of both destruction and creation. She speaks in a completely alien, unintelligible language, which only deepens her unsettling aura. With immense power, regenerative abilities, and an air of invincibility, Automa feels less like a character and more like a cosmic force. In fact, the only way the KO of heroes managed to defeat her was by sealing her back into her own dimension. But honestly, the most bizarre thing about her might just be her name. I mean, what's with the equal sign? Automaraga sounds less like a name and more like an equation. That said, I genuinely love her design, and I really hope we see her return in future games, hopefully with some answers next time. Now here's a character who doesn't make the list for her looks or any bizarre anatomy. In fact, Kisara Westfield, the only female fighter in Aggressors of Dark Combat, appears completely normal, a typical high school girl in a uniform and a mad obsession with the game's protagonist. So why is she on this list, you ask? Simple. Her super move, Bombard Jealousy, is one of the most absurd attacks in SNK history. In it, Kisara summons her boyfriend, patiently kisses him in front of her opponent, and for some completely unhinged reason, they take a massive amount of damage. I mean, what? I guess they're just overcome with crippling jealousy? But why do you even care? It gets even better, or worse, because this ridiculous move makes a return in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, where she proceeds to break the hearts of random fighters, including characters who have never met her and surely don't even care about her love life. And yes, that includes other women too. It's such a WTF moment that I couldn't not include her. Sometimes love hurts, especially when it's someone else's.
Who's the best? I'm the best!
This is the most recent entry on the list, and possibly one of the strangest crossovers SNK has ever done. Salvatorei Ganachi is one of the only two real-life people who somehow ended up as a playable character in a fighting game, the other being Cristiano Ronaldo. Unlike Ronaldo though, Ganachi actually blends in pretty well with the cast. If by blends in you mean being completely off the wall and unhinged. Everything about him, his movements, mannerisms, voice lines, and especially his fighting style, feels like a fever dream. Just watch his Hidden Gear Super and you'll instantly understand why he's here. A world-renowned DJ turned fighter, Ganachi joins the tournament not to save the world or avenge a rival, but simply to look for inspiration for his next musical masterpiece. And of course, in true SNK fashion, the best place to find that inspiration is in a glorious fistfight. Let's leave Earth behind for a moment and take a detour to outer space, because this next entry is literally out of this world. The Mars people, as their name not so subtly suggests, are a race of alien invaders, recurring enemies in the Metal Slug series, who eventually made their way into other SNK's fighting games. These creatures are squid-like with multiple tentacles instead of arms and legs, because Japan. Their bizarre physiology makes them unnaturally agile, capable of high jumps, weird contortions, and movement that defies logic. They can teleport and even shapeshift into human form when it suits their needs. Behind those goofy alien eyes lies a sharp mind. They're highly intelligent, manipulative, and possess advanced alien tech. Their fighting style is completely unorthodox, unpredictable, and borderline chaotic. But despite all that, they're not invincible, and when the situation gets too dire, they've been known to ally with a human just to survive. While they may look a bit silly at first glance, make no mistake, these tentacled baddies are ruthless, unreadable, and truly alien in every sense of the word. Just what the heck is this creature? Genan Shiranui is a savage, claw-wielding menace from the Samurai Shodown series, and no, despite the name, he is not related to Mai, not directly anyway. Genan is part of a twisted humanoid clan and lives purely to spread carnage and follow the way of evil, slicing up anything unlucky enough to cross his path. And yet, in his life of blood and mayhem, it seems that only 2 women have ever been able to rein him in. One being freaking Mai Shiranui herself, who somehow time-traveled into the ending of the first game just to stop his rampage. Don't ask, or you can watch the video I made about that. Then there is Azami, his wife, who constantly pleads with him to abandon the murder hobby and come home to his family. And weirdly enough, it eventually works. At the end of Samurai Shodown 2, Genan learns she's pregnant with their 3rd child, and just like that, the unholy terror puts down the claws and goes full dad mode. How sweet. While Dio fights him, in gameplay, Genan is absolutely aggravating with annoying hitboxes, slippery movement, and a general aura of why won't you just stay down. He's the kind of freak who eats xenomorphs for breakfast and washes them down with acid. And that's exactly why he earns a spot on this list of SNK's most bizarre. And now we've reached the GOAT, la crème de la crème, the freakiest, most bizarre character in SNK history, at least according to yours truly. Unfortunately, he also happens to be one of the weirdest historical figures in real life too, good old Rasputin. In actual history, calling this guy bizarre would be a massive understatement. Let's just say he played a major role in tarnishing the Tsar's reputation, which led to a massive loss of public confidence in the imperial dynasty, and that in turn had paved the way for its downfall. Now imagine that level of real-world weirdness cranked up to 11, and you get SNK's version in World Heroes. Here Rasputin is a sorcerer, a love-preaching cult leader, and a fighter who spreads the message of peace through punches, kicks, and some truly uncomfortable effeminate poses that walk the line between hilarious and horrifying. He's not just weird, he's the embodiment of bizarre, and for that reason, Rasputin claims the #1 spot on this list of the most bizarre characters in SNK fighting games. Which of these weirdos is your favorite? Or perhaps you have another bizarre fella in mind that I didn't mention? Either way, I'd love to read your answer in the comments section below. Special thanks to my patrons for their support. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and why not consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.